which is great. And did you get through all of them, I hope?
We did.
That's correct.
I did.
Perfect. Okay. Well, cool. Well, I'm excited to get you guys rolling.
We are too. We are too, actually. So I've been calling with Damon for the past few weeks now, and we're really excited to get them.
Oh yeah.
To get moving, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely, Anator. Absolutely. This is going to be some fun stuff.
Sorry to interrupt, guys. I see that Justin is recording. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. And we can send this back to you guys to reference, to watch, and I'm sure there'll be plenty of good information and little things to grab for it that'll help you guys, as you learn more about the business and what exactly we're doing and how we're selling it and who we're selling it to, why we're selling it, of course, what we're doing to help people, and just should be a good tool to use and look back on.
Great.
All right.
We're waiting for the last one. Anika is joining us, so I just spoke to her, so she's coming up any second.
All right.
Well, guys, I'm really excited about everybody being on board. This is going to be a pivotal moment, and
Definitely.
big things are definitely ahead.
Excited.
Say, Damon, are you out in the garage working on a bike or something?
I wish. My wife was so happy when I got rid of that motorcycle.
Yeah.
I'm still going through withdrawal symptoms, man. I don't know. I'm still going through withdrawals.
Yeah, I have not been able to ride at all, and I'm sure my wife's happy about that.
Oh, yeah.
What kind of bikes do you guys have?
Well, Damon had Beyonce, and I'll let him tell you about her.
She was beautiful, man. I'm telling you, she was gorgeous. Makes your heart drop. So I took a bike, right? It was a 2006 crotch rocket. It was a Honda CBR. Actually, it was a 07. And I'll show you some pictures sometime, but I built it into my dream bike. Wonderful colors, great edges and everything, high performance. And then I wrecked her. So I had to divorce her. My wife was so glad when I got rid of the bike. Now I'm looking for a new hobby. But this right here, what we're doing, is going to be a wonderful replacement. Yeah. I love this right here, building something special for great people. So,
yeah, and I've got a 2014 Street Glide Harley, so I'm on the opposite end of the spectrum. Yeah.
Oh yeah, right. Okay, so but you're a race biker.
Oh yeah,
Damon. Yeah, so I got the Yamaha R6 2016 model.
I know what you ride, man. That's awesome. What year?
2016. So it's pretty new. Yeah.
Sweet.
Black. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, my buddy had he had two R6s and they were just beautiful. We take them out and go tear up the town. It was super nice. I've been riding motorcycles or dirt bikes since I was 8, so it's kind of in my blood.
Experience, right?
That's right.
Okay, there's Anika. Can you hear us, Anika?
Hi. Yes, I can.
Okay, perfect.
Right.
So the team is complete, guys.
All right, cool. Well, I'll go ahead and get us started. My name is Justin. As you can probably see, my black face popping up on the screen. I don't have a camera, so I'm hiding my pretty face behind that. But
he's doing y'all a favor.
That's right. Yeah, black screen. Anyway, I'm going to tell you a little bit about us and how Damon and I or our team has become partners. We are a internet marketing firm that started back in 1998. Okay, so it was before Google was Google. And we originally started as an ESPN affiliate, and we built the ESPN affiliate outdoors search engine. And so we were mainly calling to help outdoor businesses like hunting and fishing guides and everything get onto the ESPN search engine. But then they would always ask us, well, how do I get on to Yahoo, or how do I get on the front page of AOL? And so my dad kind of pioneered the the SEO term before it was even a term or a saying. And so we started tinkering around with websites and figuring out what it took to reach page one of these other search engines. And, after many, many months of trial and error, we figured out the way to do that. And so that spawned off, and we started to help all walks of business. So it really doesn't matter what you do or where you do it. We can get you onto the front page. The key is just to sell the high enough level of service to achieve that placement, okay, to compete in whatever arena that we're going after. So I don't know exactly how many years ago it was, maybe 5 or 6 years ago, we started offering business opportunities to, we're looking for sales teams to partner with us because we don't have an outside sales force here. And so that is exactly what Damon is, and you guys will be, is your own company, your own entity, but basically anything that y'all sell, we are your tech team. So we're kind of the home mothership, and we handle all of the work for you guys and everything that you sell. So currently we handle the work for over 100 SEO companies nationwide. So we are probably the most vetted SEO firm in the country, even though there's not a list for that. So I'm going to pat myself on the back for that. But that's who we are. We are Google certified. And so these are all things that you can say to your potential clients that you're on the phone with, that your tech team has been in business since 1998. You are a Google certified company, and we're calling to give them a free consultation as to what Google sees with their website and maybe what could be hindering their ability to reach the front page of Google. Because in the end, it's exactly what we're doing. Let me go ahead and share my screen and give you all something better to look at. Let me know if everybody can see that.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. So what we're doing, and I know you watched all the videos, which is great, and I hope you all have a really good handle on what exactly it is that we do, but I'm just going to kind of run through a small bit of it. Again, just kind of beat it into y'all a bit. So what we're talking about is when anybody goes to buy anything, whether they're buying a product or whether they're looking for a service, they're looking for a local contractor to come work on their house, or they need a new fence or a new roof or a plumber, everybody goes to Google to do that search, okay? So when you type in, and this is just an example term, this is somebody that I talked to maybe a month ago, and I'm due to follow back up with him after he's out of a contract. I just typed in Dallas automated defibrillator. He sells these to schools and fire departments and everything else. But what you see is you see people paying per click. Now, there can be up to 4 ads up here at the top, okay? These are the people that you want to call. So whether it's, this guy who sells defibrillators, or whether it's a plumber or whoever, these people are paying to be found up here. And this is very, very expensive. Yeah. It's also where a fewer amount of people click. So only up to 20% of the people actually click up here in these listings. Okay. And you can also see some ads down here. And this is the guy that I spoke with. And if you appear down here, this means that you're not quite paying enough, or you're not paying as much as this guy is at the top to be listed at the very top. Okay. But this is where only up to 20% of people actually click. 80 to 85% of the people click in the organic listings on the search engines. So it's below the ads, it's below the map, and it's all down here. Okay. So when we help people get out of, and the keyword there is help in all caps and in bold, we help people get out of these paid listings because they're expensive, they don't yield as many visitors, and they also, they don't convert as well as traffic does in the organic listings. So typically what we're able to see is we're able to drive 3 to 5 times the traffic, and typically it's at a fraction of the cost of what they're having to spend for their Google ad campaign. Okay, so that's an average. Now, that is not set in stone. There's a lot of gray area because somebody could be paying for that phrase and maybe they're only spending $50 a month, right? And our services, I'm sure you've looked at the pricing, start at $400, and they go up from there. It's not going to meet everybody's budget because somebody could spend $50 a month, but the key there is that they may not be getting much traffic at all. Okay. Their ad, the way it works up here is they've set a budget for the day. And once that budget is gone, they disappear until the next day. Okay. So they don't even have 24/7 visibility. The other reason why we drive 3 to 5 times the traffic is, of course, they're up 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, right here in the organic listings. They're where more people click, but we're also targeting the other major search engines that people are using. So people are using Bing and Yahoo. I mean, every Dell computer shipped out has Bing as a default search engine. Siri, I think, used to be default Bing. I think they're changing that, though, now to Google. So if somebody does that search on their phone with Siri, it may go to Google now. But that can account. So Yahoo and Bing traffic can account for up to 30% of the search market. So all of those things combined is how we're able to generate 3 to 5 times the traffic. Okay. So we're helping people get out of here and we're placing them in here. Now, that doesn't mean that you just have to call people that are paying per click. I mean, you could type in whatever service you want. You could go down here to page 4 and just start calling these people, okay? The issue is, though, you'll probably have a lot of good conversations, but maybe none of them have any money for advertising. But you're calling to give them a consultation on what Google is seeing and how to reach the front page. And so that's a lot easier to have this conversation with a lot of people and convince them to hop on the front page of Google than sometimes it is to go back to the people that are paying on the ads, like these guys. These guys that are paying in the ads, they get phone calls all the time of companies just like ours, other advertising firms. It's just like a flashing red light to us and everybody else that they're overspending. They're not getting what they're paying for. And they're just trying to sell them their product or another solution to that. So you're going to have to be somewhat skilled to keep a conversation or get past a gatekeeper and talk to the powers that be that make the decisions on where their advertising dollars go. And they get these calls all the time. So you have to be a little bit different. And we've seen that with a softer approach of, calling and saying something to the effect of, good afternoon, I'm so-and-so. I'm with Get Traffic Masters, and we are a Google certified firm calling to help consult people on what the search engines are saying with their website and how to reach the front page of Google, or maybe what's hindering your ability to reach the front page. I've just done a search for this, and I see that you're on page 4. You can hold those conversations with that type of soft intro and just giving them a consultation. Okay. Before I go any further, I want to ask, does anybody have any questions that they've written down that maybe they were confused about with the videos that y'all watched?
I've asked that question to the team, and there are no burning questions. And I also advise them to first watch the training, because some questions may be answered during the training, so we don't do things double.
Mm-hmm.
But I think, as I explained, Damon, as well, the training is very clear, actually. So the most important thing is the customer journey. What does a prospect go through like before they get on a call or after they get on a call, and what is the process after that? So that's, I think, that's the most important thing
to go through. Okay, perfect. All right, so I'm going to show you exactly the preparation that I do before every single phone call. Okay. Now there are different levels of this. And I've talked to Damon about this, about what exactly each and every one of y'all's roles is going to be at first. Now, typically what we like to do is start off in an appointment setter type role where you're just establishing a level of interest, you're gauging their interest, and then you're setting an appointment for a SEO specialist or your Google marketing specialist to go do more research and diagnose what's going on with their website. So that kind of tells the person on the other end of the phone that you're going to go to work for them for free. And you're going to set up a time for your SEO specialist to dig a bit deeper, find out what Google's seeing, and then give them a call. So however y'all feel like you want to do that, if you want to set a group of appointment setters and they are calling, they're simply just you guys are going to have lead lists also that you can just cruise down, and those phone calls aren't going to require this same amount of research that I'm going to do. Okay. But anybody calling that is the follow-up call, which is actually going to diagnose what's going on with Google, they're going to go through this exact process. Okay.
Yeah.
Now all of you can jump straight into establishing the level of interest and then going in and giving them the consultation and then explaining the process and picking the right level of service. So it just depends on your comfort level, your understanding of it, and your ability to articulate it to the client pretty fluidly. So basically, let's say that I'm going to call these companies that are selling automated defibrillators, AEDs, they do a trade program, they do CPR training, all this stuff. So basically, I've done that, and I see that this is the guy that I actually phoned, and AED 123. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pull up a tab that has his website on it. I want to get a good sense of what it is that he does, what he's selling, what service that he offers, and then also what service areas that he wants to be found in. Okay. So I see this guy's located in Dallas. I can go click on, I don't know, contact us. Let's see if he has a list of cities. He has a list of cities somewhere. There it is, service areas. So this way I can talk to him. I can look at a map. That's the other tab I'll have open. So he's actually expanding. So he wants to be found in Austin, San Antonio, and Houston. Okay. So now I know what he does. I know what he's selling. I'm going to do the site test, and I want to see what our tool that we built, it crawls the home page of a website, and it tells us, does it have the coding pieces necessary to be seen and crawled properly by Google? Okay, so this guy has a few red notches, but it is not bad. It's 90%. Something very important to remember here is that there are two main aspects to achieve front page placement. One is your coding, and all this does is make sure that Google can see and crawl your website properly. Okay, so a website has many pages to it, right? It could have 50, it could have 100, it could have 120. 500. You need to make sure that your coding is properly aligned so that Google can crawl it efficiently so that you can tell Google what it is that you do and where you do it. Okay? But if this guy, let's say his score is 90%, you can't look at that number and say, okay, I'm not going to call this guy because he has code that looks pretty good. There's nothing I can do for this guy. That's just one part of it. The bigger part of it is going to be asking yourself the question, is he telling his story properly to Google? Okay. And how you find that out is going to Google itself and typing in SITE : and then you paste the domain in there with no spaces. This is how many pages that Google sees or has crawled of this guy's website. Everything in blue is a title tag. This is what he wants to be found for. This is what he's screaming from the top of the rooftops. Like, I do this service and I do it in this area. I sell this. I do CPR training and I do it in Dallas. I do CPR training in Houston. I do CPR training in San Antonio. This is his opportunity to tell Google what it is that he does and where he does it. Okay. So I've looked at his code and it's 90%, but I have to find out more on whether he's telling a story. And when I'm cruising through everything in blue, I'm looking for a focus and a city tied to it. And I don't see that. Okay, I do see, okay, he has Austin, but what does AED 123 mean? That means nothing to me. That's the name of his company. So the only thing that is doing is helping him be relevant for his company name, and that doesn't help anybody who doesn't know he even exists, that doesn't know his company name. These title tags are his opportunity to create a page that says Dallas automated defibrillator sales, or Dallas CPR training, or Plano CPR training, other cities around Dallas. Okay. And I don't see that. I'm going to click to page 2 and I'm going to do that. So he is not telling a story well. So when I went to Google and I typed this in, Dallas automated defibrillator, and I'm scrolling through looking for his company name, and I don't see it on page 1. And I know exactly why. because he's not telling his story well to Google. Okay. So when I pick up the phone to call this guy, I may not reference this number. I'm not going to say, well, your website's 90% optimized. Congratulations. Good on you. There's nothing I can do for you. The truth is, I'm going to tell him, first get him interested in who I am and what I'm trying to do and give him a free consultation. But I'm going to say, look, truthfully, your coding is pretty well in order. There are some small things that I can fix so that Google can crawl you more efficiently. But the truth is, you're not telling your story to Google. Now, even though his website does a very good job of explaining to me what he does, what he sells, what are his services. So it's okay to a user, to a person, but to a robot, he does not do a good job of explaining to a robot what he wants to be found for, the services that he has, and the cities that he wants to be found in. Okay? So that's going to be the topic of conversation. And you'll notice all of our plans, that is what it is geared towards. It is geared towards telling somebody or telling the search engines their story properly. So for instance, our entry-level plan allows us to build 20 additional pages. Well, what does that mean? Well, that means that we can go build 20 pages around the services that he has and all the areas that he wants to be found in. So let's say that he wants to be found for, automated defibrillators, AEDs, and CPR training. Let's say we picked 5 core focuses, 5 services that he offers, or 5 products that he sells. We can go target 4 cities with that. 5 times 4 is 20, right? That's how we split up the pages. If we sold the level 5 and he had 40 pages, right here, we could do 5 core focuses and target 8 cities, okay? So that is how we tell someone's story. Let me show you what that looks like. So this is a brand new client of ours, the Fancy Flush. They sell those luxury portable restroom trailers that you see at outdoor weddings or, sporting events or whatever, golf tournaments. They've got these really nice porta potties, basically. Let's go to his website. And I'm going to show you what this looks like as far as somebody telling their story. Okay. So I'm going to scroll all the way down to the bottom here, and I'm going to click on Sitemap. These are all the pages that we have built. So these are all pages. This is what his title tag is going to be when we did the site colon search. See how this has Austin special event porta potty rentals, Fort Worth portable restroom trailers, in FortWorth.com or Fort Worth, San Antonio, Waco, Dallas, and they all have different focuses. We have a page built for Fort Worth comfort station trailers, another Fort Worth page built for luxury restroom trailers and rentals. This is telling his story properly to the search engines. It's not just the name of the company or just putting in comfort station. You have to literally spell it out to the search engines. You have to tell their story, okay? But when we look at his sitemap, you can see all that we're targeting. This was launched 2 days ago. This is the second day, and I think we have 7 or maybe 9 pages have been pulled already. And so he did not have placement for, I think he had some placement in Austin, but he didn't have any anywhere else. And he didn't have any in Waco. But if we go type in, let's find out what pages have been seen first before I shoot in the dark. Waco luxury porta potty trailer. So we have this right here, thefancyflush.com. This is a page that never existed before we entered into our partnership. He had 0 visibility in Waco and 0 visibility for that phrase. But what you'll also notice is that this page was specifically built to be found for these keyword phrases. We've also been targeting rentals, so you can type in luxury porta potty trailer rentals. It's still going to be relevant for that. The Fancy Flush right there. So that's relevant for a number of keyword terms. What you'll notice is when we click this page, it doesn't just take you to the home page. It takes you to that specific page that we built for them. So when we click into it, this is content that somebody typed in directly. This is exactly what they're looking for. They're not having to guess, okay, well, let me go look at his fleet. Or in fact, from his deal, I can't even tell. Well, here's a perfect one. Look, from his home page, he's got an Austin phone number. He's got a Houston phone number, but it doesn't tell me that he will do this for my special event in Waco. But when they land on this page, that's what they're reading, and that helps captivate the reader. They stay on the website longer. Then they start clicking around and looking at his fleet, or they do the contact us where they fill out a form for their event, let them know how many people they have, and then give them recommendations on how many stations they need and all that. So this is exactly what we're going to do for everybody that you talk to or you sell. Okay?
Yes. Yeah. Could you tell us a little bit more about where the artificial intelligence comes into place, like in the process? In which phase does that happen?
There isn't any artificial intelligence, not that we're working with anyway. But basically, like the process is, let's say just like Fancy Flush, we sold them. I think it's a level 10, so it's 50 pages. And then we create that work. We go do the keyword research for the phrases that people type in. Okay, so for instance, people search different ways. Some people search comfort station trailer. Some people search luxury porta potties, luxury restroom, luxury bathrooms, mobile bathroom trailers. People search all different ways, so we want to focus on all those things. We actually use Google Keyword Planner when somebody is trying to create their own ad campaign, and that tells us search volumes of people that do that. So we actually go manually create and build these 50 pages. And then we have, you'll also notice, so we're targeting, Arlington Comfort Station. We're also doing Austin Comfort Station, Dallas Comfort Station. But each one of those has 100% unique content. So we don't just write one piece of content and then change the city. That does not, in Google's eyes, that doesn't create a good user experience. So we do things the long way, the expensive way, but this is the way to achieve front page placement and then also keep that front page placement. When Google comes up with algorithm changes, they're looking for people that are cutting corners, not providing a good user experience, or maybe even trying to cheat their way to the front page. So Google has what I would call security bots that crawl every page of a website and make sure that they're not breaking the rules to achieve their front page placement. Does that make sense?
Hey, Justin.
Yep.
Hey, Justin, this is Damon. That makes a ton of sense. So I think that was Inator that asked the question. So what you guys are seeing here is what the tech team does behind the scenes that makes it so different and unique. Very compelling story. Regarding the AI, that's more operational. That's exactly how we're going to attack the market from a sales perspective. That's not this discussion. At the end of the technical training, where you'll understand exactly what we do and how we do it, we'll talk a bit more about getting started with the AI piece.
Yes.
That's more demand generation, right?
Oh, are y'all looking to use AI for cold calling?
Correct.
Okay.
So that's what he's asking about. So we'll take that offline, but you still made some fantastic points here, though, Justin. So we appreciate that.
Sure. Okay. Yeah, I've actually listened to a couple of AI recordings, and it sounds unbelievable. It sounds real.
Yeah, it's come a long way, and so we're excited about it. This group, I think, is pretty excited about it. So we plan to attack the market. So I'll have an update for the guys here very shortly as well.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Perfect. So I'm clear about what the difference is now in what you guys do instead of other people. So that's very clear.
Yeah, and in fact, that's going to be very, very important when you're educating your clients or potential clients on what they're currently doing, who we are, what we do, and then also what sets us apart from our competitors. Okay, we are truly different than other SEO companies. Now, you've probably heard it on the videos, but you need to write these bullet points down on what makes us different. Before you write the bullet points down, let me just explain some. A lot of other SEO companies, there's multiple ways to achieve front page placement, okay? This is just the best way that we know to guarantee front page placement, keep that front page placement where you're not, quote unquote, cheating your way to the front page. But so that you understand how other people do it, you'll hear terms like PBNs, like private blog networks, or linking, backlinks, those types of things. And the truth is, a lot of SEO companies will sell these SEO plans, and that is what they do to achieve placement. They write blogs maybe every week or twice a month or something like that, and then they also go and try to get quality links to help boost that website up to the front page. What the links are is they link to websites that have a lot of traffic. It's social media sites and stuff like that, but also forums and just other big companies. And what they're trying to do is get the popularity of that other website to help boost another website to the front page. That is not what we do. Now, if you're calling local contractors, people like this, these people who do the comfort stations, or even this defibrillator guy, in a local market like that, it is not necessary to go do link building and blogs and everything to achieve front page placement. This is all that is required, is to tell their story properly to the search engines and then fix the coding issues so that Google can see it and crawl it properly. Now, on the other side of that coin, if somebody came to me and they wanted to be on the front page for flat screen 4K TV and compete with eBay and Walmart and Amazon and everybody else, then it takes bringing a whole new bag of tricks to the game. You have to tell your story. You have to fix your code. You also have to do links. You have to buy traffic. You have to do a lot of other things, okay? But for our target market, our bread and butter, which is your local service-oriented businesses, it's just not necessary. And in fact, it can be detrimental to someone's website if you do a link campaign and it's done improperly, okay? So somebody out there that goes and they link to a blog network. Well, when that network is flagged for being spam, they're going to take down every website that they're attached to, okay? So that's not what we do. We another term is we're a white hat SEO company. So we're wearing our white hat, riding our white pony. We don't cut corners. It's the long way, the expensive way, but it's the right way to do it. Okay. So, so the bullet points of what makes us different from our competitors is we have a 90-day money-back guarantee. That is very unique in the SEO industry. To have a guarantee at all in the SEO industry is rare. We have run across, I think now, 2 companies that offer it, but I think there's it's a 6-month guarantee or a year, and I don't even know exactly what it is, but it is very unique to the industry. The other thing to write down is that we do not have long-term contracts, so we earn their business every 30 days. That's huge. A lot of people that you're going to talk to are roped into a year or even 2-year, 3-year contract. So part of this business is going to be you building your pipeline. You might, just like this AED guy, he was under a contract, and I think it's lifting maybe next month, so we're due to talk here in the next couple of days just to see how that's coming along. And you'll build your pipeline with a lot of people who are roped into contracts, and they'll like the fact that you don't make them sign one. Along with that, what I follow that up with is we have an over 90% client retention rate of people that used to pay per click and now are partners with SEO and getting them on the front page. They're likely to stay with us for longer than 5 years, okay? Because it just works. There's no way they'd want to cancel to let it go once they see the traffic that it generates, and it's at a fraction of the cost. So you'll have a client for a long time. The other thing that sets us apart is we have upfront pricing, okay? It's on our website, as you guys have seen. We don't charge what we think someone can afford. We have tools that maybe was on the video or Damon has shared with you, a tool called SpyFu. It's spyfu.com. that will give us a roundabout figure on what somebody spends on a monthly basis for their Google ad campaign. Okay. Now that can be off, above or below roughly 20%, but we've seen it dead on a lot of the times. But we don't charge someone what we think they can afford. Our pricing is based on, one, how competitive their industry is, and two, how large of an area that they service, or how many areas that they service. Okay. That's how our packages are laid out, and again, up front on our website. The other thing that makes us pretty unique also, I'd say, is our longevity. We've been in business, like I said, since 1998. Not many SEO companies can say that. So those are some nice, helpful tools to help differentiate us from our competitors. And of course, when you explain what it is that we're doing and how we build these landing pages, you'll see, and I don't know if you've actually heard some sales recordings yet that are also on the website, but it's amazing how a lot of, like I said, these people are getting calls, multiple calls a day. And if they do sit around and listen to these other pitches, what these other SEO companies do is they send these elaborate reports that say, you've got 200 and something broken links on your website, or you've got X amount of images mislabeled and blah, blah, blah. And they try to scare these people into fixing their website, and they think that that's going to be, the right way to go about it. But the truth is, even if they fixed all those errors on their site, they still would not achieve front page placement because, ding, ding, they're not telling their story properly to the search engines. Okay. So like this guy has perfect code, the AED123, 90%, but he's not telling his story. Even if you fixed all the errors on his website, he'd never be on the front page because he doesn't have the content to explain to the robots what he wants to be found for and where he wants to be found. So when you explain this, and you can actually walk someone through this process, just take an example. Take the one I have right here, the fancyflush.com, or take another one. I'm sure Damon's got a list for you guys to reference. I think I sent Damon one, but go to Google and have them go to Google and type in Dallas ADD testing is one. We've got another that's diagnosticlearning.com. Where is that? Maybe it's dyslexia.
Do you come across people that are actually like optimized in a perfect way that you can actually improve their ranking?
Yeah, sometimes in your research, when you're looking at site colon and you see that they have landing pages built for specific cities and specific focuses, then you have to dig a little bit deeper. Obviously, go to Google and type in a phrase that they have a page built for and see if they are on the front page. And if they are, and they're on the front page for multiple services and multiple cities, I probably wouldn't call them, because that's exactly what we're trying to offer them, but we can't offer them something they already have. So that does happen. It is rare. Majority of the time, you're going to come across people that do not have landing pages built or focused landing pages. The other half of the time, you're going to run into people that do have some landing pages, but it's just for the city that they're in, not all their surrounding cities. And that's also hugely important. I mean, I don't know exactly where all you guys are located, but around me, I mean, there's 15, 25 cities that have hundreds of thousands of people in each city that they could be helping or being found. I mean, people search, like if I'm looking for a roofer, I'm looking for a roofer in Salina, Texas, not Dallas, Texas, to go drive however many miles up to come to me. So yes, but in your site colon, if you come across somebody who has targeted landing pages, just probably move on. But if you only see one city targeted, but it's a type of business that has multiple cities, then I'd pick up the phone and call them, and I'd say, look, I see that you're pretty well optimized and you have great placement around the city, blah, blah, blah. But what I don't see is you have zero visibility or zero exposure for all of your services in all of these other cities. And I can help you do that. I can guarantee front page placement and no contracts. Do you have 5 minutes? Okay. So all of those things are how we are different from our competitors. However you want to go into that conversation, however the conversation is flowing. But typically what I do during a consultation is I'll do an optimization test. I'll do a site colon, see if they're telling their story. And if they're not, that's what I'm going to discuss. And then I'm going to have them go to Google themselves and say, look, go to Google and type in SITE AED 123. I want you to look at everything in blue. This is your opportunity to tell Google what it is that you do and where you do it. And what do I see? I see your company name, and that's it. Okay? Like this one right here. This has a focus, CPR training. But where's the city? He's trying to be found for CPR training nationwide. There's no way that's going to happen. Plus, he can't help somebody in Kansas or Pennsylvania or somewhere like that, okay? So when they see it for themselves, just like this, a light bulb kind of goes off in their head. And they say, okay, that makes sense. And then you show them a site that is properly done. Say, look, let me show you another company, and just take them to a sitemap. It's easier to see. So go to thefancyflush.com, scroll all the way down to the bottom of the website. You'll click sitemap, and then you'll see a list of all the pages of different focuses, different keyword terms, and all the cities that this guy wants to be found in. This is exactly what needs to be done for your business, and this is exactly how our packages are laid out. Okay? If we can build 20 pages, 30 pages, 40 pages. All right? Now, this is going to be the most important thing that you need to remember if you're actually going to sell something. Okay? Picking the right level of service is the most important thing that you will do, because we have 100% success rate. Okay? We've never failed to achieve placement. And the reason why is, like I said, that guy that comes to me and says, I want to be on the front page for flat screen 4K TVs, and he slides me a check for $6,000. I'm going to slide the check right back to him, and I'm going to say, dig a little bit deeper, because I can't achieve front page placement when you're competing against companies that spend millions and millions of dollars a day to be found on the front page. $6,000 isn't going to work, okay? So you have to sell a high enough level of service that allows us to be competitive enough to stand by our money-back guarantee that we offer. Okay? Does that make sense? So, picking the right level of service. And some of this stuff I'm going to talk about is not mentioned on the website. You'll see that we have numbers right here. This is the very last thing that you need to check before picking the right level of service. So this, any keyword term that yields less than 2 million results should be okay with this local level plan to build 20 pages. But that's going to be the last thing that you check. The process is going to be just a mental one. You're going to ask yourself, the first question is, do they want to be found in a major city? Okay. If the answer is yes, in the major city, the way I look at it is, if there's an NFL team there, it's a major city. If I've heard of it, it's a major city, okay? If it's a major city, this is going to be your starting plan immediately. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. You want to be found in Dallas, Houston, Austin, San Antonio, Oklahoma City, Tulsa, Phoenix, Scottsdale, wherever. It's going to be here, okay? The next question you have to ask yourself is this a competitive business? So, like a plumber, yeah, that's highly competitive. Plumbers are a dime a dozen. Landscapers, lawnmowers, dime a dozen. Super competitive. Caterers, there's thousands of them. Okay, roofers, same thing, highly competitive. So if those two things pop up, they're in a major city, boom, and they're in a competitive business, you need to jump up to the medium plans. Okay? The third thing that you want to do is then look at the results and make sure that it falls in line with whatever process you just went through. Okay? Now, if you say they're in a major city and they're a roofer, the major metro, and the results are 12 million or 13 million, you need to jump up here, okay, to the next one. Now, there are ways that we can help this. So let's take the roofer, for instance. It's a competitive business, but he doesn't have the budget for one of those larger plans. He can afford the Metropolitan. Well, what does that mean? I can still help him. I just have to set his expectations right and tell him I can't go after the city of Dallas for Dallas roofing repair with this lower level of service, because it won't work, and I'll have to give you your money back, and I'm not willing to do that. And I want to always under promise and over deliver. Okay. So what does that mean? We're going to take one of the major city things off of our list. So we're going to jump back down to metropolitan, and we're going to go target all of the smaller surrounding cities of Dallas that will yield between 3 to 5 million results. Okay. So that's how we can do that. Now, if you come across somebody who builds outdoor kitchens, he's an outdoor kitchen contractor, or outdoor fire pits, or xeriscaping. Okay. They're sure there's a lot of people that do it, but it's not highly competitive. Well, that guy you can sell him this metropolitan with a major city and a bunch of smaller surrounding cities, bearing that it stays in line with this 3 to 5 million. So you can kind of mix and match as long as you're setting the right expectation. You'll find that a lot of people, they have huge aspirations. They have enormous goals. They want to be the biggest, baddest roofer in the DFW Metroplex, but their wallet can barely come up with $6,000. Okay. So you may have to explain, look, let's start somewhere. Let's develop a trust between us. Let me show you what I do works. Let me get you onto the front page for all of these surrounding cities that have hundreds of thousands of rooftops. Salina gets hit with hail just as bad as Dallas does, or Prosper, or McKinney, or Sherman, or Allen, or wherever. You start naming cities because you have a map pulled up and you can just start spouting off cities and say, I can get you onto the front page for those. Let that traffic and that business from all those surrounding cities, let that pay for its own upgrade. Okay. Get on the front page. You're getting clicks, you're getting business in those areas. And then when you're ready, you just upgrade to the next level. And the beauty is, and a lot of this happens, is you'll sell the lower level of service because that's where their budget is. But from the very, very beginning, it was always a plan to upgrade and do more. So over 80% of our clients upgrade on their own. And that's the reason why, is you'll say something to the effect of, let's develop a trust between us. Let me show you what I do works. You have a money back guarantee. I'm not going to rope you into a contract. Let me get you onto the front page. Your phone's going to start ringing. You're going to see a huge uptick in business, and you're going to want to do more. And then we can go after Dallas and all the other major cities you want to be found in. And then they'll upgrade. A lot of people upgrade within the first 6 months. Okay.
Yeah. Get them in first, and then from there you can always get into a next plan if everything is working out as they want.
Exactly.
Right. That's it. That's pretty clear. So I think the process is pretty clear of what you guys do, what makes you unique, and the 100% money back guarantee and 100% success rate just speaks for itself, right? You don't have to add anything on that. So I think that process is clear for us.
Okay, good. All right. So the next, there's just always a few things I tell people before they start going off and start selling is going to be one, know what you do and why you do it. You're calling them to help them. You're going to help them save money, and you're going to drive more traffic to their business. How do you do that? You do it by fixing coding issues and telling their story properly to Google. Okay, so that's what you do. This is why you do it. More business, less cost, no contracts, blah, blah, blah. And the next is know the process. Okay, they're going to ask, what are the next steps? How long does this take? What do I do next? Part of that process is picking the right level of service. Okay, so again, go through exactly what I just mentioned on how you determine what level of service that you came to pick them or place them into. Most of that is going to come down to what their budget is, and then what can we deliver at that budget. The next is going to be, what is the process? Okay, the process is, once you determine a level of service, we are going to send them an agreement, and then we're going to send them an ACH form so that we can draft their account every 30 days. Once we get that information back, then we are going to send a questionnaire. We don't ever send a questionnaire with the ACH form and agreement, because they will hold that questionnaire hostage for however long, 2 weeks, month, whatever, because they don't have any skin in the game yet. But as soon as they've paid, there is a sense of urgency to fill out the questionnaire and get this process started. Okay. So once they receive the ACH form and the agreement, then you send the questionnaire. The questionnaire is mainly there it has questions like, what are the cities that you want to be found in? What services do you offer? What do you want to be found for? what sets you apart from your competitors? Have you won any awards? Are you fully insured, licensed, bonded, blah, blah, blah. That stuff. And they also need to include any marketing materials that they have. If they have YouTube videos, send links to those. All of that stuff is going to help our content writers write these pages and pages and pages of content, okay? It helps them be unique. It helps them be interesting, and they can put little tidbits about the company in this content so the content comes back great, okay? But the questionnaire is also for us, me and our tech team here, where they're going to place on that questionnaire what things they want to be found for and where they want to be found. Now, it's key that you look at this questionnaire with those 2 questions before you send it to us. Because, again, you sold this level of service, and you know why you've chosen whatever package you did. So sometimes what can happen is you've talked to the owner, you've sold the owner, and the owner hands that questionnaire to maybe their top sales guy, or he hands it to his assistant or something to fill out because he doesn't want to do it. And that assistant, when it's asked, what areas do you service, she's going to put all these major cities, or they're going to put every single service that they offer or whatever. Look that over, because you've discussed kind of mentally on the phone with this guy. Say, okay, you're a roofer. You've got 40 pages. You do roof repair. You do roof replacement. You do storm damage roof repair, emergency roof repair service, and you also do commercial roofing. There's 5 focuses. He needs to give me 8 small cities and make sure they're small, because when it comes to us and he has all major cities listed on there, our first phone call is going to be back to you and say, hey, what is this? Why'd you sell a 5 to a roofer in major cities, right? So make sure to direct them when they fill out their questionnaire what exactly is on it, and remind them to put small cities that they want to focus on in that. Now, once the questionnaire comes back, we go do our keyword research to make sure that the phrases that they put on there are good, viable keyword terms to drive business, okay? We go do keyword research for that. You'd be surprised how many business owners think they know the right terms that they want to be found for. Some people, like if it was a plumber, he'd just say, I want to be found for plumber, and that's it. I just want one keyword term. Well, that one term is going to drive maybe 10% of your business. But when I go target everything else that you do, that's going to drive 90% of your traffic. So anyway, we'll do the keyword research, and then what's going to happen is we're going to develop our focus, which is going to be, for this instance, it's going to be 41 page titles, the home page, and then 40 additional pages of what phrases we think are going to drive the most business. Again, it's so important because there's no long-term contracts. It's in our best interest that this work well for them. Okay, so we need to make sure that we're going to drive quality traffic and traffic that's going to convert to their business. So if something is different than the questionnaire, there will be an explanation why. Okay, we've decided to target this term because this has more searches than what the client put down, and it's still in line with the services that they offer. Okay, so there'll be an explanation why. But when that 41 pages comes back, it's going to be sent to you, and then you're going to send it to the client for approval. This is the point where we and them, we both agree that we think these are the terms that are going to best represent their business and drive the most traffic, and that these are the phrases we're going to go after to that are in line with our money back guarantee. So I'm going to circle back just for a second. Knowing that they approve these focuses and these keyword phrases, okay, that's an answer to a rebuttal question. I see you have a guarantee, but how do I know you're not going to get me on the front page for some random keyword phrase that's not going to bring me any business? Okay, you're going to be sent these titles for approval. We're both going to agree that this is what we're going to go after, and we think is going to help your business. Okay, so that alleviates that right there. And by the way, this is their opportunity to make any changes that they want to. They can change a city. For one small city to another small city. They can say, you know what, I don't want to do commercial roofing. I want to focus more on residential roofing, and I'll build commercial side of my business later. Whatever changes they want to make, this is their opportunity to do it, because once this is approved, you're going to send it back to us and say, hey, focus is approved, or hey, let's change the focus to this, or he wants to add this and take away this. After that's approved, we send it off to content. Okay. We have 3, and we're actually working on a 4th content company, all of which are based in the United States. All work is done in the United States. We have 4 companies, and each one of them has between 10 and 30 writers that write exclusively for us and our affiliates who are selling out there. Okay, so we have vetted writers that write for us. Once we send the titles to them, they're going to start writing content. There is no going back and changing something when the content comes back, because that costs us money too. It's going to end up costing your client. So make sure that they know that this is our opportunity to make any changes. So the content is going to take the longest. Okay, it's going to take about, for a level 5 and below, metropolitan, suburban, and local, it is going to take about 3 weeks to complete. Okay, to be written, 3 to 4 weeks. Everything above that is going to take between maybe 3 to 5 weeks. Okay, depending on workload and everything else. Once the content is written, we're going to send it back to you. You're going to send it to your client, and they can make any edits that they want to. We just ask that they don't mess with the keyword terms we have sprinkled into the content, because they're there for a reason. Okay, but they can change something, or they can add a paragraph, whatever they like. Once the content is approved, you say, hey, send it back to us. Content's approved. It's ready to go upload. Basically, your questionnaire has this question on there. Sometimes your clients won't put it on the questionnaire because they don't have the information ready yet. We need access to the website. Okay, it's sometimes referred to as FTP access. If it's WordPress, we just need WordPress access so that we can go in and upload these pages. Okay, so process. We develop the focus. We send it to them for their approval. Once that's approved, it goes to content. Content takes 3 to 4 weeks, whatever. That goes back to your client for approval as well. When that is approved, it comes back. We can usually have it uploaded within 1 to 2 business days, usually maybe 1 to 3 business days. So this metropolitan, suburban, and local should take, assuming your client is timely in their approvals. So if you sent them titles for approval and they replied back within a couple of hours rather than a few days, we should have everything done within about 30 days. All of this work, all the 40 pages, everything should be complete with about 30 days. Then we upload. Now is about explaining the timing of all of this, okay? About the search engines and how that works and how long is it going to take to be seen. It used to be that Google took about 3 to 9 weeks to be seen for the first time, for these pages to be seen, okay? We have found a new way to submit to the search engines, and we are now being seen within a day. Just like Fancy Flush deal, the day we uploaded it, nothing happened. The next day, 7 pages were seen, and now I think it could be 9 or 10. So they're being seen every day, okay?
That's awesome.
So he's had placement now on the front page, and it took about 30 days to do the work. He's now on the front page for, I don't know, maybe 80 or 90, 100 keyword terms that he didn't have before, and it's been just a few days after upload, okay? But again, we want to under promise and over deliver. So I'm going to set the expectation that it might take longer than that. And my reason for that is I'm going to say, look, this is a long-term investment in your online advertising, in your company's future, okay? It takes hard work and a lot of work to get this stuff to the front page, and we have to earn, this is another thing that I say, we have to earn our place here onto the front page, okay? Like this, there's 250,000 websites that we have to be better than to get onto the front page, okay? Google, a lot of times, doesn't just give that away. And that's why we ask for 90 days after upload to achieve front page placement. So the way I explain it is that the search engines come around every 3 to 9 weeks. And what they're going to do is they'll likely place us on the second page after the first search engine pull, which is great. We've hopped over 248,000, 800 people or something. We are on the second page. That's fantastic. Now we have to wait for the search engines to come around again and see the pages a second time. And they're going to say, okay, you're still relevant for these phrases you're going after. You're a little older. You're a little more trusted. I'm going to reward you from the top of the second page to the bottom of the first. Great. Now we've reached front page placement for a number of pages. But let's say some pages are still hanging around on page 2. We have a lot on page 1. We've satisfied our money back guarantee. But what happens in another 3 to 9 weeks? they're seen again. And all the stuff that's at the bottom of page 1 is moved up higher. All the stuff that was hanging around on page 2 is now moved to page 1. So the key here is that at the end of this 90 days should not be the judge of how fruitful or is this the best that I can expect this optimization to perform? The answer is no. This is just how long it takes that we know to achieve front page placement, but it continues to get better and better. Now, truthfully, between us, I mean, like I said, we're seeing front page placement within days. After maybe a week's time or a week and a half, 2 weeks, all of these pages would have been seen, and we're jumping straight to the first page. But again, under promise and over deliver. They're not getting a guarantee anywhere else that they go, okay? At least we offer one. We're not making them sign a contract. Show them example after example. Just go keep typing in phrases, and our client continues to pop up on page 1 and show them the sitemap where this is how it's done. We're telling their story. We're building these pages, and it just explains itself. So this is not a hard sell, okay? You're not wheeling and dealing used car style. You are there to consult them, inform them on what they're currently doing, let them know that this is the most expensive place you could possibly be to be found online. You're paying top dollar. You're where less than 20% of people click. You're not up 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You're not being found on Bing and Yahoo. We fix all of those issues by getting you on the earned listings, the organic listings, where our clients receive 3 to 5 times the traffic, typically at a fraction of the cost. Okay? So,
I think that's the best explanation and summary of the last hour of detailed explanation.
Good.
I think that's a very, very, very good conclusion, because in the end, you know, what I notice is a lot of people, they don't exactly need to know or want to know what happens exactly. They just want to get on the first place.
Exactly.
You'll get more traffic. So that's it's important for us to know how and why it happens. And what makes you unique.
Right.
But usually for the prospects on the phone, they don't even understand what pay-per-click probably means. They just want to get more clients. That's how they think, probably. Very, very simple.
Exactly.
Right?
And that's the thing. And you want to keep it as simple as possible. The issue that we run into a lot within the last year is that if you're calling these people that are paying per click, they know exactly what PPC is because they've been doing it for years, and maybe they've tried SEO in the past and it hasn't worked. They've been burned in the past. And so being able to explain what sets us apart from them, and also physically having them walk through, just they're on their own computer. You go to Google yourself and type this in, and let me show you a few examples of my clients. Let me show you that this is how you do it. And then when they hear it explained that way, which is very simple, not a bunch of smoke and mirrors, and we're not trying to scare them with crazy reports or whatever, they can truly appreciate it. And then when we back that up with no contracts and money back guarantee, they've got nothing to lose, you know, nothing at all to lose. So there's a lot more that you might get roped into, because you might talk to the head of marketing at the company, and he seems to be very well versed in PPC and SEO and blogs and links, and he might try to test you on what your knowledge is. But the truth is, you don't need to know that. I'm not a tech guy either. I mean, I've never coded anything. I've never built a website. I don't need to know. I know that this is what it takes to reach the front page. I've sold it for years and years and years. I've performed the optimizations on the front end, and every single time we sell a client or our affiliate sell a client and we've sold the right level of service, we've set the right expectation. That's the other thing. Setting expectations is so huge, especially on the timing aspect, because that keeps your phone from ringing again. We don't get calls from our clients wondering what's going on. It's been 30 days. I don't understand. Well, our clients are involved the whole process of approvals. And once it's up, I send them one email and say, hey, look, our pages are being seen. We're on the front page for this. Hold on tight, because most of these other pages haven't been seen yet, and they'll continue to be seen every few days. They're just ecstatic. And then their phone's ringing. No one's calling you. We've never had a customer service department. Maybe that's another selling tool. We've never needed one, because what we do works 100% of the time. Right?
Well, that's good to hear.
Right.
That's good to hear.
So all of that is knowing what you do and why you do it, right? Who you're helping and why. It is staying organized, of course. You're going to be calling a lot of people. You're going to be having a lot of conversations, and I don't care how good you think your memory is. You can have an hour-long conversation with somebody and forget exactly what was discussed, so take great notes. If you've already talked to somebody, make sure that they're on your calendar immediately after to follow back up with them, okay? Super important. Remember what level of service you pitched them and why. Just very detailed notes, and your calendar will hold all that, so that's not an issue. And then, of course, picking the right level of service is, I would say, the most important thing. Knowing the process, because they're going to ask those questions on how long is this going to take. And then that's it. Sending paperwork and getting stuff approved.
Perfect. Yeah, and we'll get into the process with Damon, I think, the sales process from that end. But I think most things are clear, and we definitely need to watch the replay again to really get into the material and, know what to explain. But I think from my side, everything is very clear.
Okay, good. Yeah, does anybody else have any questions on what I've gone through? Because that's pretty much it. Now, there will be more questions from you guys, which I welcome. You might hit some. Well, everyone's going to trip up at first because you just don't know the product as well at the moment. Yeah. But you'll continue to get better and better and better and smooth out your pitch and your delivery. But I'm here with any questions that y'all have in the future. But as of now, are you confused at all about anything that I've explained at all?
What I think is we're just going to run into things, right? But because from now on, we need to gain experience in what type of people we get on the phone and what the questions are. And along the way, we will find out the things we run into, and we'll come up with those questions, definitely. But for as of now, I don't think there are anything that is like unclear.
Okay.
Everything is clear, on my end at least.
Nice. Great.
Awesome. And like Justin explained, guys, there's a library, right? There's a library that you guys can go back to the videos and revisit. So at the end of the day, there's going to be resources there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's perfect.
Okay.
I think everything is clear. I think you explained everything, and it all ties into the training. So, yeah, I'm good.
Great. Awesome. Okay. That's Damon, great. Anything else you want me to hit on, or you think we're good for now?
Justin, I think I knew you were a guru, man, but you've exceeded my expectations. I think you did a fantastic job. So, yeah, with that, what we can do is we can probably, if you leave, I'm going to have to open up another session and kind of wrap up with the guys. But as far as I'm concerned, no, sir.
Okay.
You did a fantastic job.
All right, great. Well, I will stop the share, and then I will send it to you, Damon, and you can share it with the team. So you guys can go back and listen to it again. Some light watching, maybe a Friday night, couple beers, whatever. Yep. Just listen to my sweet voice.
Guys, I love it. So we'll definitely jump on top of that, Justin. As far as what we can do, guys, is we're going to jump off this bridge. The bridge that Initor had shared previously, we can go back to that Ring Central meeting ID. Or if it's easier, we can actually go to Zoom, either or. But we can talk a little bit offline afterwards, because you guys may have other questions that basically are around the sales process and operations. But I think Justin did a fantastic job on the training. We can let him go. So again, thank you, Justin. And to keep it simple, guys, just meet me on the Ring Central meeting ID that you guys have originally jumped on, that Initor sent to you guys. I'll be there in about 60 seconds or less.
All right.
All right. Thanks, guys. Have a great day, and excited for you guys to get going. So we'll talk again soon, I'm sure.
Thank you, Justin.
Definitely.
All right.
Okay.
Justin.
All right.
Thank you. See you guys soon.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Okay.